me handsomes, and this one I am very excited about. As you can see, I've got a bit of pork belly in front of me that's been vacuum packed and I've cut open. What's going on, you might ask? Well, as the video will suggest, we are looking at diets through this series, and the first one we're doing is we have gone to Piper's Farm and we have selected some meats for us to live off of during the working week. So 5 days, 5 evenings when we finished work, what meals are we going to have? Will it improve our diet? Will it save us pennies? Will it make us feel better? Will it be tastier? So day one, Monday, we've got pork belly. We didn't have a roast dinner on the Sunday because we had this instead. So I'm just going to colour off the pork belly in a very hot pan. And when I say very hot pan, as you can see, I've put oil in it. Get that on a bright heat, push it down, get that all crisp, get the outside coated nicely, and then we'll slowly roast it just to seal those juices in, get it nice and moist. So this will be the first of our series. We're going to be looking at lots of other little dietary requirements and different things. Of course, I always have my no cheese please, because I don't eat cheese. But we're going to be looking at other things. We're going to be looking at the benefits and advantages and disadvantages of ready meals. We're going to be looking at certain diets. We've already done vegetarian. Now we're going to be looking at vegan in the coming weeks as well, and little other ones, gluten-free, Atkins, and so on like that. So there's lots of things we can look at. So at this point, we have fried one side of it, and at some point we are going to be turning it, and we're going to continually turn it to the outside is, like I say, nicely crisp browned, and then we've got the juices concealed inside. Now, go very careful with this. Now, obviously, I've had some training previously to do this, but this is hot stuff. This is oil spitting as well, so do go very careful with this. Use bigger tongs if you want. For this, I'm obviously only using a spoon. It's all I realistically need to use for it, but as you can see, the side is coloured, and we're just going to keep turning it until we are happy for it to go in the oven and get roasting in there. Slowly, low heat, maybe 100, 110. We are talking very low for a long time just to get it nice and soft. Now, I'm not a big crackling man, so I'm not going to be aiming for crackling. I don't really see a massive benefit of it. Crunchy, it hurts your teeth a bit, it doesn't really bring much flavour. Not a massive fan of it, never really have been. So in the oven that goes. Now let's look at the veg for it. It's not a roast dinner without some fantastic veg. So we've got parsnips, we have got carrot, and we've got potatoes. So just get them on part boiling, and we'll be roasting all of them in a lovely bit of fat. And for this, we've got duck fat. And of course, it's pork. We need to make some apple sauce. So I've just got some nice apples there that we'll be peeling, chopping up, getting on a low heat again, bit of water, touch of eggnog and cinnamon. Eggnog, nutmeg and cinnamon. And as I said, there is the duck fat that we will be using. Duck fat, beef dripping. It's not duck fat. My apologies. It was beef dripping. You can tell it's been a little bit of time since we recorded this from when I'm commentating on it. And swede. Absolutely love swede with a roast dinner, so we'll be going with that as well. So this is something I've been really looking forward to this week. It's meat from the butchers. The idea is, yes, it's costing a little bit more, but the quality is fantastic. So we'll see realistically how we get on. So with the potatoes, we've got this tray, we've got it hot, we've got the beef dripping in the tray already, as you can see. The vegetables have been part boiled, and we're just going to chuck all of them in there. No messing around, just chuck them all in there, get them nice coated, plenty of salt and pepper. Now, we did use seasoned water, but you need lots of salt and pepper for this, just to give it really good flavour. But the beef dripping is so flavoursome and works so well with this. And beef dripping is actually cheaper than the previously advertised duck and goose fat. Less healthy. I mean, none of it's healthy for you at the end of the day. It is fat. But the flavour it adds, wow. It's very good than just your plain old oils. Nothing against some oils. Some oils can work out really nice. But this just adds another dimension of really nice flavour. And as you can see, I've gone with plenty of salt, because a lot of the salt of that will evaporate or disappear. You lose 75% of the salt during cooking, so you need lots of that on there. And of course, once that's all ready, good shake, get it in the oven. Again, low, slow, keep turning it, and then eventually we'll whack up the heat nice and high. And we're pretty much plating up now. So I've also gone with a bit of peas as well, some nice greenery. You don't need to watch me put some peas in a bowl with our pork, apple sauce, parsnips, potatoes, and nice covering of nice gravy. But there we go. That is meal 1 of the week. Delicious, healthy, fantastic. Thank you, Piper's Farm, and we'll move on to day 2. So day 2, we're going to go with a bit of a stew today. So we've got, now in this it's advertised as game pie mixture. So it's a mixture of pheasant, game products really, pheasant, rabbit, so on. We're going to start with some onions, get the onions sweated down in a nice pan, and then we're going to go in with the game mixture. Now this, like I say, will be a low cooking stew. I like my low cooking meals. I think they're fantastic. So at this point, we've got them with a little bit of corn flour as well. So as you can see, it's starting to stick to the bottom. That's absolutely fine. And we've gone in with some fresh thyme leaves. Thankfully, we do grow some in our garden. And now we're going to just glug it all down with some red wine. Now this will help stop the sticking. The alcohol will instantly get all of that stuck juices, the stuck flavours off of the bottom of the pan. And then we're just going to let that slowly boil, and it's a fantastic thing. The smell you get is amazing. The colour will slowly start to change and absorb. I mean, this was deep red wine. It's starting to go a bit of a lighter colour now. And the corn flour will slowly take effect and just start to thicken it slowly and slightly as well. But like I say, we've used our game mixture today, so something we would not usually use in a supermarket. So we're trying something a little bit different today. I really enjoyed this. Absolutely delicious. We did it with some roasted vegetables as well, and I found it absolutely fantastic. But partner was not so much a fan, but she's not as big a fan of game as I am. I really like my game food. I think it's fantastic. So at this point, the meat is starting to cook, but we're just going to go with a bit of veg to add that as well. So we've got carrot, we've got mushroom in there, and we've got some sliced sprouts in there as well, just to give it a bit of texture, a bit of added flavour. And it's not really a stew unless you have all those veg bits in there as well. So get that all mixed up, and again, pop that on the stove, salt, pepper, let that slowly boil for a good amount of time. I'd say realistically an hour, nice and low. Give it a stir every now and then, obviously to stop things from sticking, but the alcohol will slowly cook out, everything will infuse flavour wise, and you get this beautiful looking dish here, which smelled absolutely stunning. I was really happy with how it all turned out. Go in with a little bit of stock when the wine starts to reduce a bit, just to give it that extra flavour. Now I've just gone chicken stock here. You can obviously get game stocks, but I've just gone for your basic chicken stock just to really give it that oomph. But yeah, I was so happy with how this all turned out. It was fantastic. And like I say, served it with some roast vegetables. It was fantastic because it was a bit of a cold, wet day that day, and just worked perfectly. But as we come into the winter months, something like this would be fantastic. Now, you don't need to use game. You can use other meats, your beef, your porks and stuff like that. But there we have it. Bit of green cabbage to go with it as well, some roasted vegetables. This was absolutely delicious. So that's 2 days down, on to day 3, and I'm excited for all the other days, and it's making my mouth water just re-watching this and narrating on it. So let's go on to day 3. So here we are, day 3, and we have got some sausages. Now these were beef and harissa sausages, so a little bit of a different flavour sausages. Again, not really something you'd find in a supermarket. We wanted to go for something different. We're going to be making pasta with it today. So onion. We've taken the sausage and we've cut the sausage up into bits. This had a fantastic spice to it, so I thought this would go really well with a nice tomatoey pasta dish. So again, bit of red wine in there as well. We like our red wine this week, but just as a really nice way to infuse some of the flavours after we've kind of sweated the onions down. We've got some colour on the sausages and started to cook that down. Bit of wine in there just really helps bring it all together, pump some really strong flavours in there as well. So again, deglaze your pan, and this is where we go in with our tomatoes and some mushrooms as well. So again, we've gone fresh tomatoes because we've managed to actually grow some in our garden this year, only small ones, but we got quite a lot of them, whereas other years we've really struggled with our tomatoes, so a bit different this year, but it complemented and went so well with this. Little bit of carrot as well, apologies, I forgot to say we added in there as well, just to give it some really nice texture and flavour. But like I say, it was really good to do this. And again, we've just gone in with a bit of stock, again, just to bring it that extra bit of flavour, bring it all together again when the wine starts to reduce. Bring that down, and that's effectively your pasta dish all done. Nice simple one. We didn't go in with any tinned tomatoes, but it's got that nice colour flavour to it. The fresh tomatoes went really well with the spice of the sausage, but so far this meat has been outstanding. No comparison to what you would get from a supermarket. It's worlds better, absolutely delicious, and we're going to give it a bit of a halftime review, so stay tuned for day 4. So we are about halfway through our Butcher's Piper's Farm meals that we have been doing, and I have to say I've really enjoyed it. The meat has been excellent. It does come fresh and then they freeze it. So as the funny Gordon Ramsay Kitchen Nightmare episode is fresh frozen. But yeah, the meat is excellent quality. It's very, very good. It was a bit more expensive than if we were to get it from a supermarket, but you can't beat the quality, absolutely. It's fantastic. We've really enjoyed our meals this week. We felt a bit better doing them. Yeah, and it's really nice just to be able to support good British farming. So we'll crack on with the rest of the week and see how we get on. Yes, so on to day 4 now. And day 4, we did something a little bit different. We got a duck breast. So with this, we're just going to be doing a bit of an Asian-y take on it. So we're starting with a bit of almost a stir fry with this. We're going to get a hot pan. We're going to go broccoli, bit of Brussels sprout that we had left over, a bit of onion, some mushroom in there as well. Just get that cooking away on the nice high heat. And we have our duck breast sealed here. So with the duck breast, it's a really nice simple thing to do. You get a very hot pan, bit of oil. Just get that duck breast skin side down first of all, get that rendering away, so you won't be able to hear it, but you can probably see the oil is spitting, it is going mad, and some of the juices are starting to come out of the duck. We're just going to be frying that on a really high heat before just allowing it to rest for a really good amount of time to get those juices back into the duck there and sealed nicely. Now back to our veg. So we've sweated it down quite nicely, and we've got this lovely mixture of vegetables there, which we'll be adding with a bit of rice, of course. We're just going to go in with some soy sauce and eventually some hoisin sauce. Duck, hoisin, just goes together, doesn't it? It just works. But at this point, nice bit of soy sauce in there just to give it that salty hit. We've not seasoned any of this at all yet. And of course, there is our hoisin sauce in with that. So we've added the salt to it. Now we've got the sweetness to it, which just goes so well with duck. Again, you don't really have to do this if you don't want to. These are just what we did this week. You can do anything with it. The last day, we kind of just got a bit of veg, which we've boiled to bits, and I'll show you in a minute anyway. But this is the duck dish we had here. Tiny bit of rice with it as well, but really nice, flavoursome, nice, plenty of veg to go with it, and a really nice duck. Delicious. So final day was so simple. We took some sausages, we took some veg, we boiled the veg to bits, we popped it in the oven so it kind of came out like a bit of a bubble and squeak, that kind of mushy, nice, but a little bit of crisps in there as well. Veg to it with the sausages. So it was a one pot cook really. So everything went in the pan together. Everything got spooned out. We did it with a little bit of cabbage just to give it that bit of greenness, because, you know, you've got to be a bit healthy sometimes with it. And one of the highlights of the week, it was just one of those really pleasurable, flavoursome meals. But overall, it was such a good week. This was such a good idea. I'll put the link to Piper's Farm in the description. You need to check them out. But ta for watching. Take care, guys. See you again soon. Ta for now.